This is Cameron Guthrie. I'm speaking for the Guthrie family. Whoever is out there holding our mother, we want to hear from you. We haven't heard anything directly. We need you to reach out, and we need a way to communicate with you so we can move forward. But first, we have to know that you have our mom. We want to talk to you, and we are waiting for contact.
A son steps into frame. Cameron Guthrie, speaking directly to the camera, possibly at the direction of federal agents, addressing whoever is holding his mother. The message is stripped down to its core. We have not heard from you. Show us she is alive. That is the demand. That is the ask. And the absence of any response from whoever mailed those ransom notes to news organizations has quietly become one of the most important details in this entire case. The FBI has been clear about this. When someone takes a person for money, they move fast. Demands escalate. Communication does not stop after one message and then vanish. That is not how this works. The silence here breaks from the pattern, and anything that breaks from the pattern in an investigation like this carries weight. One of the people who sent ransom communications has been taken into custody. Derek Kalla, based out of California, is now facing federal charges. Investigators say he reached out directly to Annie Guthrie and her husband Thomas Ocean, asking whether the Bitcoin transfer had gone through, implying he was on the other end waiting for funds to land. Federal agents worked backward through a voice-over internet system and tracked the communication to a Google account allegedly registered to Kalla. He acknowledged sending 2 messages and making a direct phone call to the family. The charges against him carry a sentencing range starting at 3 to 8 years on the low end, climbing to a potential life sentence if prosecutors establish aggravating factors. The arrest answered one question. It did not answer the others. 3 ransom notes went to media organizations. TMZ received 1. KOLD TV received 1. KGUN in Tucson received 1. Investigators believe those 3 may share a common origin, but that has not been officially confirmed. What is worth noting is that the specific details inside those notes, the floodlights at the property, the Apple Watch, were details that had already surfaced in news coverage by the time the notes arrived. Anyone sitting at home watching the story develop in real time could have assembled the same information. No direct knowledge of the crime required. Law enforcement has been explicit about the scope of this investigation. Nobody has been cleared. The Uber driver who transported Nancy to Annie's house that evening, the gardener, the person who maintains the pool, every single person who intersected with this family's life around that time is being looked at. The sheriff put it plainly. Everybody is a suspect. That is not posturing. That is the methodology. No prime suspect has been named. The family has been described as fully cooperative, doing everything that has been asked of them. And investigators made a point of cautioning that public reporting which singles out individuals by name can actively damage the investigation. But a journalist who reported that the son-in-law may be the focus of investigative attention has not walked that back. She pointed to a precedent that anyone familiar with how these cases actually unfold will recognize immediately. During the Moscow, Idaho murders, law enforcement publicly stated no suspect had been identified while simultaneously surveilling Brian Koberger for 2 weeks after connecting his DNA to the scene. The public statement and the private reality were 2 completely different things. Her source, contacted on 3 separate days in a row, has given the same assessment each time. The language has not shifted. Son-in-law may be prime suspect. The press conference itself revealed information through omission as much as through what was said. When a reporter asked whether the cameras at Annie's home had been smashed, the sheriff did not say no. He said he did not know where that information originated. He confirmed the cameras were removed and disconnected. He confirmed there were 2 of them. He confirmed neither is in law enforcement's possession. He confirmed the first camera triggered at 1:47 in the morning and that a second alert fired at 2:28. 41 minutes between those 2 events. The camera provider could only deliver alert data, not footage, because Nancy had not kept her subscription active. The system logged person detected. Nothing more. No image. No identity. Just a timestamp and a confirmation that the motion detection software registered a human presence near the camera at those specific moments. The vehicle Annie Guthrie was driving that evening has been towed and is now in evidence. The sheriff called it standard procedure, part of executing the search warrant. That aligns with what had already been reported through independent sources. That car is now being processed. Modern vehicles log an enormous amount of information. GPS movement, timestamps, speed, route data. Whatever that car recorded on the night Nancy Guthrie disappeared, investigators now have access to it. The blood found on the front porch has been confirmed as Nancy's. Not a perpetrator's. Not an unidentified contributor. Hers. Every DNA result returned so far points to the victim. Additional biological evidence has been submitted and results are still pending. Processing timelines range from 10 to 20 days depending on what type of analysis is being run. The question of forced entry has not been resolved publicly. The journalist's source said definitively that there was forced entry. The sheriff declined to address it either way. He said he did not know where that information came from and that it was not something he was going to speak to. The pattern across this press conference is consistent. Neither confirm nor deny. Deflect back to the source. It is the behavior of a department that is managing what the public sees while running a private investigation that may be considerably further along than anyone is letting on. A reporter pressed him directly. Are you intentionally withholding information because of the active case? His answer was careful. There are legal guidelines that direct us, he said. But there is also strategy. I will leave that for you to determine. That word, strategy, is doing significant work. It means the public version of this story is being shaped. Not just by legal obligation, but by deliberate decision. The question that remains is whether that management is protecting the investigation or shielding something else entirely. Nancy Guthrie is still missing. Her blood is on the porch. Her cameras logged movement at 1:47 and again at 2:28 in the morning, then disappeared. One fraudulent ransomer is in custody. The other communications remain open. Her daughter's car is in an evidence bay. The last person confirmed to have driven her home was a family member. And a sheriff who privately called this a definitive kidnapping is now hedging that word in public while openly acknowledging that strategy is shaping what he says. If you have information, call 1-800-CALL-FBI or go to tips.fbi.gov. The reward has surpassed $1.2 million. This case is not close to finished.